We're back in the popular small town of Tolar, Texas. This is a small suburban city right outside of Granbury, and a lot of people don't know about it. Maybe you're relocating here from out of state, maybe you're retiring and you're looking for some acreage. Lots of reasons that this might be a place that you land on as a place of possible interest. So we wanted to highlight Tolar, Texas today and jump in and discuss the pros and cons of moving to Tolar, Texas in 2026. A lot's changed over the last few years, and it's going to continue to change over the next few. As a matter of fact, I call Tolar Old Granbury because a lot of the folks that lived in Granbury while it was growing decided to move out to Tolar. But there's a lot of things to love about Tolar, and we're going to jump in and discuss those today. If this is your first time to the channel, we really appreciate you tuning in to today's episode where we're highlighting the pros and cons of moving to Tolar, Texas. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about any changes or updates on the market here around the Granbury area. As always, we get people to reach out to us that are looking for information, maybe some advice on where they want to move. Feel free to reach out to us. Shoot us a call, give us a text, send us an email. We would love the chance to connect with you and give you any advice. So if you're planning a trip into Tolar, Texas, and you're trying to set up a plan for some things to do while you're in town, we recommend grabbing breakfast here at the Triple G Cafe. Maybe you can grab lunch here at the Hill City Chop House. Obviously, they have Garcia's as you come into the city. There's an excellent little gas station called Myers Quick Stop, and I'm not joking when I tell you they got probably the best burger around. Fantastic place to stop and eat. Obviously, if you want to go a little bit outside of Tolar, they're toward Stephenville. There's a little city called Bluffdale, and they've got a little restaurant called Jasper's. Great place to stop and eat. You know me, I love to eat, so we're probably going to grab breakfast at Triple G here in just a second. We're enjoying the day out here in Tolar. Tolar is known for being a stop that was established back in the 19th century, and the community just boomed after that. And there's a lot of ranchers and farmers and folks that want some privacy and acreage that live out in Tolar, Texas. Lots of large tracts of land. It's just a great spot to visit or raise a family. Tolar is known for having one of the best school systems around. There's a lot of pride in the Rattlers and the Tolar ISD. As a matter of fact, people move from Lipan, Granbury, Stephenville because they want to get their kids into the Tolar ISD. And here's the thing, it's not like Aledo where the tax rate gets exorbitant. It actually maintains a pretty affordable rate here in Hood County. So you get great schools without all the added ISD costs that you get in some of these other cities. So it's a great place to consider, especially if you do have kids. If you don't, you're looking to retire. It is a growing, thriving community, and it's going to hold value very well because of that ISD system. So what are the pros and cons of living in Tolar? Well, the big pro is it's a small town, conservative, close-knit community that has a great neighborly feel to it. A lot of the people here are very kind, and so if you visit the area, that's one thing that'll strike you as soon as you get here is just the pride they have in their school systems and the neighborliness of folks. The second pro of living out here is you can get some land at a pretty affordable cost. You can find some land on some acreage that is going to be exceptional. Some of it has gotten more expensive over the last 5 years, and it's going to continue to do that over the next 5 to 10 years. But compared to what you're going to pay in some other areas, sometimes you can find a little bit better deal here, say, than if you were in the Weatherford or the Granbury market. Obviously, with all pros, there comes cons. What are the cons of living out here in Tolar, Texas? One of the cons of living in Tolar, Texas is the job market. It's a relatively limited job market. A lot of people work either remotely, they do oil and gas, or they work in DFW. Sometimes they have some remote, or they have a certain amount of travel that they have to do that's not necessarily located to the wherever the business is. So they do a lot of like driving around. Another con of Tolar is the shopping. Amazon Prime is going to be your shopping mall. It's going to be what you use to buy most of your stuff. You've got to drive into Granbury to go to Starbucks or to go to Walmart or to do grocery shopping. So a lot of Amazon Prime shopping, and then you're going to schedule your days in. You know, a 15-20 minute to Walmart is really not that bad. If you're familiar with some of my Granbury videos, you're closer to Walmart here in Tolar than I am in Pecan Plantation, and I live in Granbury because the drive is actually going to be further for me than it is for many of the folks that live in Tolar. We're back in the office and we're continuing our look at Tolar, Texas. As you can already see, it has a lot of the small town charm. We mentioned the schools, the community. Tolar has a lot of things going for it, and we're going to finish this video off with a map tour so you can see where it's at in relation to the city. We're also going to hit a few of the restaurants that we mentioned, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Here's LC Ranch. It's a wedding and event venue located here in Tolar. If you're looking for some sort of event, I highly recommend you check this out. It's a sweet spot. Here's Triple G Cafe. This is where you can go and grab a great breakfast. It's a great spot. Pancakes, waffles, omelets, really good food. Next is Jasper's Cafe. This is the place that's actually in Bluffdale, only a few minutes down the road. I've had the burger, the brisket, fried pickles, really good food here. Hill City Chop, I pointed this out in the video as well. So this is right here on basically the square in Tolar. And then there is Garcia's Mexican restaurant that is also there. Now, if you also recall, I mentioned Myers Quick Stop, which is a gas station where you can go in and order a burger. Highly recommend you check them out as well. Great hamburger there at Myers. Okay, so that is a mention of the restaurants that I mentioned while I was there on site. Here is a map view. We're going to highlight the city of Tolar. We're going to zoom out. It's easier if you can get in Dallas, Fort Worth, then you can see Granbury. So here you've got Fort Worth. You got the main road that runs down from Fort Worth to Granbury, which is called 377. And right outside of Granbury is a little city called Tolar. Folks that live here know that sometimes when you have to go get a new license, you got to go out to Tolar to do it, because the DMV out there has the ability to do a little bit more than the one in Granbury does. It is located in Hood County, so it's in the same county. And a lot of folks that get a little frustrated with the combustion of Granbury, with all the people coming in, they will move, slightly out southwest of Granbury into Tolar. Now, right outside of Tolar, you have the city of Bluffdale, which there's not a lot there. But if you keep going down 377, you will eventually get to Stephenville, which has, a couple of colleges and is a booming city in its own right. So Stephenville, if you look at it, is southwest of Weatherford, and it's really west of Granbury, slightly south. Looking at the city of Tolar, so from a map standpoint, what are the pros and cons of living in Tolar? Well, one con is to get to Fort Worth, you got to drive through Granbury. So whatever you got to deal with in Granbury, you're going to have to add the time from Tolar to get to Granbury. There's not a way of going around that really exists, so you're just going to be running through Granbury. What is another con? Well, if you're doing grocery shopping and you're in Tolar, you're going to have to probably drive into Granbury to do any of your shopping, because there's not a lot there. Grocery shopping, maybe you're going to go grab lunch. I mean, there's a few restaurants, but there's a lot more options on the Granbury side of things than there are in Tolar. So what are the pros? Well, 99% of people, if they have children, would prefer their children to be in the Tolar ISD schools. Most would prefer that. Some, I don't want to offend anyone, because the Granbury schools, I went through Leadership Granbury and got to meet a lot of the folks, and they're doing a really good job. So don't take that as any sort of disparaging. I just know of people that want to get into the Tolar ISD. It's a pretty common sentiment. People want to get out there because it is a really, really good school zone. And the community is just a lot smaller than it is in Granbury. You're just going to have more people that know each other. The community is just going to be a little bit more, call it down home sort of feel. It's just going to be a little different. All right, so one of the pros is that you're going to have the quieter lifestyle. You're going to be a little bit out of some of the hustle and bustle and some of the traffic jams that go on in Granbury. Obviously, the con is you got to drive into Granbury and deal with some of that in order to do any meaningful shopping or potentially to go eat lunch or dinner. So let's do a recap of the pros and cons. We're just going to run through these pretty quick. Small town charm, excellent school district ISD, the Tolar ISD. You can find some more affordable land options with a little bit more land than you're going to get in Granbury. You have really nice proximity to Granbury and Fort Worth while being in a smaller town, which is what very appealing for a lot of folks. Very quiet, very peaceful, lots of outdoor ranch activities, lots of horse properties, lots of farmers. Really good place if you're looking to buy some acreage and have an agricultural exemption for hay. You can find a lot of people to sell it to very easily. You can go to farmers markets, and it's just really, really good community for that sort of thing. What are the cons? Very limited job market, limited shopping. You're going to have to do a lot of travel to go in. There is rapid growth happening. Hood County is exploding in general. So as that happens, the people that want to be in a smaller city start to pile up in the smaller city. So people start moving from that smaller city to somewhere because the city's getting too big. It's the story of a growing metroplex. Everything around it starts to have this flexing that's happening with Granbury. It's happening with Tolar right now. So it is a community that is probably 10 to 15 years will begin to lose some of this feel that it has. It's going to continue to grow. So you have changes that are happening. So that is a con that you want to be aware of. As far as like weather, it's hot in Texas. So if you're comparing this to somewhere in Oregon, it's going to be a completely different feel. So I'm comparing Tolar to other Texas cities. So the weather is going to be, relatively the same. Entertainment options, not a lot to do in terms of like cinema or opera house, but you have Granbury 10, 15 minutes away. So you've got some of those benefits. And then beyond that, you got Fort Worth, which is just, teeming with various options for entertainment. So bottom line, Tolar has a specific appeal to folks that are looking for a small town feel, access to a city like Granbury, but not being stuck in the middle of it. And it has great options for people that want land, for horses or farming. And it has great school systems if you have young ones that you're wanting to be in a smaller city feel sort of school with some of these different attractions. Then Tolar might be a place that you need to consider. So with that, I think we're going to wrap up our video today highlighting Tolar, Texas. Before I go, I want to highlight one very special property that I currently have. It is under contract. It's supposed to be closing soon, but it's a very special property that I have listed out in Tolar, Texas, and it is beautiful. I mean, some of the most breathtaking views you're going to see. It's unbelievable that these views even exist in the city of Tolar. I've seen some properties in Glen Rose that are atop, these rolling hills that have great views. And even those, I don't think, can really compete with the view that we have here at this property. So I want to do a kind of a screen share with you, show you a property, and just give you an example of something that you can find out here in Tolar, Texas. So it's 27 acres. We're sitting at the very top of a hill. This is one property that's on this 27 acres. There is music playing in the background, but I've got it off so it doesn't mess with my audio. So you're just going to get some of the visuals of this. This is like a brand new home. It's situated by itself on about a little 5-acre parcel. Just for an idea, this home would appraise for $800,000. We know that because it did appraise for $800,000. It recently had an appraisal done, so about $800,000. It does have a pool. It has a spray foamed, called a shop or a pool house. It has an RV parking with RV hookups. So this is the rest of the acreage here. You got multiple living units, a huge barn. I mean, a monster barn over there. So this is what we call the main house. These are all the windows, kind of overlook the view. Nice, beautiful kitchen. Love the colors. Gas stove. Very nice master and master bath as well. Good size walk-in closet you're gonna see coming up. Here we see some of the view. Koi pond. Agricultural exemption. We've got some miniature donkeys that are out there. This is what we call the bunkhouse. This is the bunkhouse. This is the huge barn. They didn't take any photos of the inside. So right here, this camera cannot capture the staggering view that you see. You catch it a little bit here. But the hill is so much steeper than what it looks like in parts of the pictures and video. But this is a sort of property. Let me see if we can catch maybe you can catch the view from, see right here. As you see the video moving, you can actually see the depth perception. We're at the top of a hill there. All right, so this is a property that you can get in Tolar, Texas. You're not going to find this just not a super common sort of property. So this is something, if you wanted something like this, we could set up some parameters and we can go and look and find something that would be akin to this. It's a property on some acreage with an ag exemption. Maybe you're looking for a multi-generational setup. So there's great opportunities we could find in areas like Tolar, Bluffdale, Lipan that are, have have a situation like this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you want to just chat, visit with me for a few minutes, feel free to reach out to me. We would love the chance to answer any questions you have or help in any way we can. So really appreciate you. If we don't hear from you, hopefully we'll see you around Tolar sometime. All right, before we sign off, last but not least, we want to do a quick look at the real estate market in Tolar, just so you can get a snapshot of some of the homes that are available at different price points. So we're going to start with sharing my screens. All right, so from 300 to 500,000 in Tolar today, there are 12 homes available total. 3 of them are under contract. We could go in and take a look at some of these. So this was a property at 450,000 in Tolar, Texas. $219 a foot. Been on the market for 46 days. So that's one. You can look at one of the homes that actually sold. Nice home with a pool in Tolar for $450, it looks like, as well. $449. So we don't know what it sold for yet or what it's under contract for, but it is currently under contract. You can move up here. So this is actually a community where things are selling for a lot cheaper. On Lily Way in Tolar, this is Tolar Oaks. You also have the parks of Tolar that have some decent homes available in the mid 3s. So you can see, nice home here. All right, so then we can move from there. We can actually do a search from, let's say, 500 to $1 million in Tolar, and you have 15. So there's actually more homes in this price point than there is in the other. That's actually pretty common. So we can actually, let's go look. This is in the same neighborhood as the video that I highlighted for you earlier. This one is situated on 12 acres. It looks like it's on a hill as well. Looks like it's probably gonna have nice views, but it makes you wonder how usable some of that acreage is. We could back up and you could look at another home in the same neighborhood. I believe this is a pretty neat home. Price points, I think, under 6. So for this neighborhood, that's really good. Acreage is 8, so 8 acres under 600,000 in Tolar. You got this property here at 500,000, Coleman Ranch Road. It says 1,800 square foot, so it must be planning to build the suit out here, which makes sense. So you got these properties. Let's do one more search. I want to do $1 million plus and just see how many $1 million plus out here in Tolar there is. 5. We've got 5 properties out here. Hey, this one right here I think has a little baseball court, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that's a cool property. It's situated on 20 acres out here in Wind Hollow Ranch. This one right here on Nix Road is pretty neat. This one's for 1.7. So anyway, there are some properties, not a ton of homes for sale out here. It's not that large of a community. As I said, they are building a lot of homes. A lot of homes are actually selling off market by just people going direct to the builder. They go in and take a look and end up talking to the builder and picking one of the lots. But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful again. And yeah, till next time.